What's up YouTube, it's Sean here and I am back today to give you guys a review of the Aimé Dore New Balance 860 V2 in this blue colorway. So this New Balance 860 V2 is part of a collaboration with Aimé Dore, and they consist of 3 different colorways in this pack. All 3 pairs were actually opened for pre-order last year in July, and 7 months later they finally arrived at my door. I know the whole pre-order system, some people either love it or hate it, but for me I'm absolutely all for it. It guarantees you a pair without having to jump through hoops, deal with people that are botting, and yes, the company is holding onto your money for 7 months, but if it's gonna guarantee me a pair, then I don't see a downside for it if you truly and genuinely love this shoe. So these retailed for a price of $150 US or $240 Canadian, and the colorway is ML860DA2. So the New Balance 860 V2 is one of my favorite silhouettes right now, and the tooling of the shoe inspired models like the 1906R and 2002R. And what I love about this model is that it's very comfortable, it's very lightweight, but it also has a very sleek profile too. As for the shoe itself, diving into the details, the majority of the upper is crafted out of this open style mesh in this blue color. Right above this towards the laces, we have this silver synthetic overlay with this red and yellow New Balance end logo. Covering the medial side, we have more of this silver colored detailing, and then covering the front toe cap, we have this shiny synthetic blue colored leather. Next to this on the lateral side, we have a synthetic black colored layer which is also shiny, and then you can see covering the eyelets, we have a mix of the silver and black colored synthetic layers. In the middle of the mid panel, we have this red, yellow, and white New Balance end logo, and then beneath this, we have this translucent mesh in blue, which kind of reveals the inner workings of the shoe beneath it. We have more synthetic layers, and then we have 860 V2 branding on the lateral side only. On the bottom of the heel, we have a mix of white and yellow colored overlays, and then in the center of the heel, printed onto the synthetic yellow layer, we have the Aimé Dore flower logo. As far as the laces go, so this pair comes with 3 different lace options. The standard lace that they come with are these very stretchy oval shaped laces, which has this blue colored outline on the edges. But if you're not feeling these laces, they also come with a blue colored lace along with a solid off-white colored lace as well. Underneath this, the bottom half of the tongue is crafted out of that open style blue mesh. In the center, holding the laces in place, we have this woven tab, which is done in this neon yellowish color, and then the top of the tongue is covered in white mesh, and then instead of New Balance branding, we have ALD branding pressed onto the top in silver and blue. To give the shoe a lot of contrast, the back of the tongue is covered in a red colored mesh, and then the inner collar of the shoe is covered in this yellow colored finish, which really pops compared to the rest of the blue upper. For the insoles, these come with a decently padded foam lined insole. It's covered in this blue finish on top, and we have New Balance and ALD branding pressed onto the heel. So the upper of the shoe sits atop this foam midsole. On the ALD website, I don't think they specified whether this was Absorb or Activa, but it's usually one or the other. In either case, we have this hit of light blue colored foam on the lateral forefoot, and we also have New Balance's energy technology, which is visible with these gel-like pillars found on the lateral heel. This helps with impact protection and shock absorption. And then for the bottom, the outsole here is done in this multicolored finish, so we have a mix of black rubber, blue rubber, and red rubber. We have these slits to give you some added flexibility, and then we have this yellow colored shank plate, which is what New Balance calls their stability web technology. This is there in place to help with torsional rigidity and mid-foot support. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And like always, to me the 860 V2 fits me true to size, but they fit a little bit more on the snug side. So in my case, I'm perfectly fine going true to size in these, but if you're someone that's normally in between sizes, you might want to go up to the roomier size to give your feet a little bit more space. To give you guys a point of comparison, I also wear a size 10 or true to size in other New Balance silhouettes like the 1906R, 2002R, 1500, and 991 V1 and V2. Whereas I go down to a 9.5 in a lot of the made in USA models like most of the 990 series, 992, and 993. Next up in terms of the comfort, so the 860 V2 is very comfortable for me. It's not like an overly soft cushioning, but it's a very well balanced cushioning setup. So you have a good amount of softness to it, but it still feels pretty responsive. And the upper of the shoe, like I mentioned from the start, it's extremely lightweight, very breathable, and very minimal. So it feels lighter to me than a 1906R or a typical 2002R. There's just more mesh components that are more breathable and lighter weight. So that definitely helps from a comfort standpoint, but keep in mind, I probably wouldn't wear these in the winter. It's more of a spring, summer, and early fall sneaker. Finally, in terms of the quality and craftsmanship, so unfortunately, the entire shoe is made out of synthetic materials, which is typically seen in a normal 860 V2, so that wasn't really a surprise. But if you went into this expecting that because it's an ALD collab, it's gonna have more premium materials, you might be a bit disappointed. The overall build of the shoe though I thought was okay. It wasn't perfect. I mean, there were some long strings I had to trim down myself, but for the most part, there was nothing glaring, there was nothing major that I really had to complain about. So it's like your typical made in Asia 860 V2. Nothing amazing, but nothing terrible. So with all of that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up for you, and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, of the three colorways, this one, the white and green, and the red, this blue one was by far the most unique. Honestly, it's the most out of left field. It doesn't really remind me of a typical ALD release. I can almost see this being more of an Action Bronson colorway or even like a Salehi Bembury colorway. It's just not your typical look of ALD collaborations. But because it's so unique, I think it's what drew me the most to it. I'm not gonna own anything that looks like this whatsoever. And honestly, the colors of this shoe bring me back to my childhood. It reminds me of like the colors of Hot Wheels or just kids' toys with these loud, vibrant primary colors. So leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys think about it. Obviously, because it's such a unique color, I can totally expect a lot of people to hate these, but at the same time, I can see a lot of people loving it just the same. So leave your thoughts down below, and as usual, if you guys enjoy this review, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on my social media accounts. I'll link all of that down below for you guys to check out. And as always, appreciate the continued love and support, and I'll catch all of you in my next review.